Hi there everyone, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawwalker, your host, and today we're going to be checking out this new album from Seattle-based blackened death metal outfit Hissing with their new record Hypervirulence Architecture. This is the second full-length from Hissing and the follow-up to 2018's Permanent Destitution, an album that what I thought lacked in refinement made up for its shortcomings with some really fresh takes on old-school death metal ideas blended with black metal and sludge styles. And that trend continues here with a lot more of a focused production and a somehow heavier collection of tracks. Indeed, it's like they've managed to hone this razor-sharp killing edge for each and every one of these new tracks, with songs that are like pure demi-lich worship or tracks that err on the side of ambiance and creating like a creeping dread to sustain suspense throughout every listen. So this is a much more thought-through release for these guys, and while there isn't much in the way of new ideas brought to the table, again, the old ideas that they are pulling from are textbook, and they're dusting stuff off and creating some really great compositions. Like on the tracks Operant Extinction or Hypervirulence. Operant Extinction is this album's 10-minute long death sludge opus with a careening, bludgeoning assault of riffs that only pull back when the song is going to step into an increasingly heavy segment which becomes more and more intense as it continues. The second half of this track is padded with a brief refrain where the tension mounts and slingshots into the ending minutes of the track, which are some of the most aggressive on the album. And Hypervirulence is kind of an extension of the idea that was presented in the middle of Operant Extinction. It's a really quiet yet punishing amount of ambiance that acts as a great pacer song. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Blood Incantation's Time Wave Zero in the sense that if you added like a few traditional instruments into the mix for that, you might get something similar to this. Maybe the track Inner Paths to Outer Space would be a better example or a better comparison off of Hidden History of the Human Race, as it does do a pretty similar blend in that style. But still, this is a great pacer and a really cool and adventurous track for this sound. And the rest of what's presented here, while it may not be as outstanding as those tracks, are still some incredibly solid material. Cells of NonBeing is a pulverizing opener that is as overwhelming as possible. I think really it's the next level of violence that I really appreciate. I mean, there's a lot of great bands out there in this new wave of blackened metal bands, and while they do have a tendency to blend from time to time, there are some standout moments like this that really indicate when a band can hold their own. I mentioned the more focused production earlier, and one of the best examples of that is on the track Intrusion with its segmented, multifaceted passages. Really solid bass work on this track that is miraculously not buried in the mix. I do think that maybe Identical to Hunger and Meltdown should have probably been switched in the track listing. I think they are both very solid, but personally I think Identical to Hunger is the better of the two songs, and if you've watched my channel for a while now, you'll know that I'm a big fan of a strong album closer. And really that's just a small gripe, they're both excellent. Ultimately what Hissing have made here is one of the best contemporary metal albums of this year. The writing is solid, the intensity and performances are excellent, the vocal work, which I haven't even mentioned till this point, is throat-shredding. I'm a big fan. Personally, I think this will be one of my best of the year. I'm thinking Hypervirulence Architecture is a well-earned 9. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this album in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe and check out my Instagram, my Reverb, and my Depop. Links to those are all in the description below, and thank you all so much again, and we'll see you on the flip side.